today go into battle against the back-in-form Eastern Suburbs. The Roosters took the fire out of the Dragons at the Sydney Football Stadium last weekend and will be keen to stop the Raiders today. Sit back, relax as we bring you from Bruce Stadium in Canberra, the Raiders' big game. And welcome to Bruce.
The press this week, there's a lot of pressure on some of these first-grade spots here. No doubt he'll be looking for a much improved effort here today.
You know, I thought they played very well against Cronulla last week. They're unlucky to lose by that 1 point. I think, you know, they played the same as what they did against Cronulla. Just keep the pressure up for the whole 80 minutes. I think we'll see them. We'll come up with the points here.
Right, no doubt O'Sullivan and Dean Lance coming back to the side. That'll no doubt stiffen the combination.
Yeah, well, the tackling of Dean Lance, you know, they missed him a bit last week. I think he'll put a bit of fear into the Eastern Suburbs forwards today, hopefully, and see a big game from him.
We could see a couple of interesting duels out there today. Steve, any to keep an eye on?
Well, I think the two old Union halfbacks in Brad Burke and Ricky Stewart. Ricky played for the ACT Rugby Union, so they didn't really get to play against Brad that much, so I think it'll be a good contest today.
OK, Steve, looking forward to your comments throughout the game. Peter Chapman.
Thanks very much, Richard and Steve, and we're looking forward to some great clashes out there this afternoon, and I know you at home are looking forward to seeing the 80 minutes of top football, and it's coming up right after this commercial break. There's one here at Bruce Stadium as their favourite sons come out to the paddock, led by Mal Meninga. And there's Ricky Stewart coming out. Ricky Stewart looking for a big game today to get his name on the selectors' penciling board for Tuesday night, David.
Well, it depends who is he going to play for.
Well,
that is still the biggest and most ridiculous question mark in league. He should be playing for country. I'm a country boy. He's a country boy. And if they ever told me I had to play for City, the selectors, I don't know.
Well, I can understand you're upset on that one, David. Oh, I'm a City boy. I'd like to see him play for Sydney. I think that Ricky Stewart is the form halfback. And he's up against Brad Burke today, the Rugby Union international and a very talented player. What about his transition across to league? Steve Lidbury, a former Union international yourself.
Well, I had a word to him in the tunnel, before he went in to get changed for the game. He reckons the biggest difference is that, running up to 5 and going back to 5, and that's what I found out when I first started. That was, getting used to that.
He's a very solid halfback.
Yeah, he doesn't shirk anything. He's a hard little tackler. I've seen him bring down some big blokes in Union.
And there's referee Jeff Weeks for the big game. Did a good job down at Illawarra.
And there's a few very keen judges around who think this fellow is already amongst the top 3 referees in the competition. The start of this match, and it's Hugh McGahn who touches the football first for Illawarra. Portlock, he thought about picking it straight back down the other end of the field, but the defence was up there too quickly. All of the Eastern Suburbs players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are up over the halfway waiting for Portlock to boot it down the other end. It was obviously a ploy, it didn't come off. Salvatore, good run from the big fellow, 32 metres out. Truella, he'll definitely be one of the rep side. Penalty against Canberra. Now Meninga questioning Jeff Weeks, but he said you must... I think he's got them for 2 rulings, actually. But let's go down to the sideline. Here's Richard Keeley.
Thanks, David. Yes, as we mentioned in the opener, conditions superb here at Bruce. Considering the rain we've had during the week in Canberra, conditions are absolutely fantastic. The 2 forward packs there evenly matched, and I think the green machine will ignite here at Bruce Stadium today.
I got the feeling that referee Weeks pinged him for holding the player down and for being up inside the 5. And that's big Martin Quinn, another country boy, I'll let you know.
Yes, Martin comes from the Group 2 competition.
Ozzy White comes from Kempsey. Salvatore to play the ball, just 17 metres out. Truella, open side. Gilmester finds McGahn on the burst, but good defence. That was Todd. Only a few metres out. Illawarra on the attack, and Johnny Vorton makes a terrible blue there. I think the pass, in fairness to Paul Vorton, wasn't a good one, but the knock-on when really there was possibly a try on.
It was either a bad pass or a little Bo Peep.
Could have been a combination of both.
Unusual to see Vorton make a mistake like that.
Yeah. Canberra on their own quarter line. Bring you back strongly. This is Coyne. Good crowd getting in here too this afternoon. Nice warm day. Getting out and enjoying the sunshine, which really hasn't been too prevalent in either Sydney or Canberra over most of the last week or so. Portlock, enigmatic player, but on his day can turn a game. Truella cuts out Vorton, finds Smith. Smith almost to the halfway. This is Salvatore again. Just drops that ball on the ground. Just come up with a true Vorton. Oh, gee, they were a bit lucky. Here's Quinn, just inside Canberra's territory. And on that eastern side of the ground, on the last tackle, Portlock kicks, trying to force them right back to their own goal line. Belcher takes it in his own in goal, bringing it back, and evades the first line, and he's lost the ball. Here's a chance for Eastern Suburbs. Only 7 metres out from Canberra's line. They've applied the pressure early here, the Roosters, as it comes away towards Gilmester. Back it goes to Cook, another former Rugby Union international. Gilmester, the dummy half, open side. Brad Burke, that's Martin Quinn. Is Todd over the top. Here's McGahn. He's been very involved in the first 10 minutes so far. Truella trying to crash his way over Salvatore. Last tackle against the Roosters. Now Burke's right behind Truella, the dummy half. They decide to go the other side. The little kick through, and picking it up in his in goal area is Belcher, and he's been forced, and so play will restart with the line drop out. Well, Georgialis thought about the odds of the grubber, but that was beautifully positioning too. Good positioning. Have a look at this. Look where Belcher is. You get 100 out of 100 for that, don't you, for position?
Well, anticipation was the big difference between the top fullbacks, and Belcher's got all the anticipation in the world.
Plus a few other things.
Pace, sidestep, tackling ability.
Well, you name it, he's got it. On top of that, he's a good bloke.
Yes, he is a nice bloke, Gary Belcher.
They haven't even had 5 minutes of the football match yet, and it's really been all eastern suburbs so far. This is how they started against St George, but they went right off in the second stanza. As eastern suburbs again take it forward, it's Gilmister who'll play it. Blindside, Salvatore. Well, Russell Fairfax said that he'd probably play it in the forwards early on. Well, they're certainly doing a lot of that, and here's Truella going on a run. And the little man's off and unstoppable from that far out. Great tackle from Clyde. Last tackle. It goes now to Portlock, who hoists it high. It's going to come down just in the field of play. Smith knocked that forward, I thought. It was picked up by Cook. The referee says 6 to go, and he can't get it over. I had a feeling that although in the end Canberra have come up with it, gee, I thought that Smith had knocked that ball on.
No, I think in the replay you'll see that it was Laurie Daly who knocked the ball forward, and therefore the referee is quite correct in his ruling. Here's the replay now. Well, the ball had already been knocked forward, but it definitely was Daly on that occasion. But almost the try.
It's like the refs today were concentrating on the 5-yard rule. They were very strict on it in reserve grade and the 21s.
They were very strict on it yesterday too at Lang Park. You may remember that the referee had both Penrith and Brisbane at times almost 20 metres apart.
Well, you know, if you don't get them back to 5, it closes the game. At least it gives them a bit of room to run the ball, and that's what the people want to see.
So we've had just 5.5 minutes play, and it's Canberra 0, Eastern Suburbs 0. As Canberra bring the ball forward through Big Glenn Lazarus. 11 metres their own side of halfway. Blindside, Clyde. Comes out there towards Martin. Here's Lance. And the referee's got them for a forward pass. It's only just.
Well, we've had 6 minutes of play, and so far it's been all Eastern Suburbs. The only 2 times that Canberra had the ball, they've committed a mistake and they've handed the ball back to the Roosters.
Open side come Eastern Suburbs. This is Portlock. Burke in a dummy half. And there's Martin Quinn, straight down the centre. But they're using the big men, Quinn and Salvatore. One off, fairly regularly. That ball touched the Canberra player before the Eastern Suburbs player picked it up again. 6 to go, says the referee, and East again in an attacking position, 32 metres out. Truella, across field. Vorton tackled without the ball, but I think he as much ran into Steve Walters as was tackled without the ball. Georgialis. Here's Salvatore out amongst the backs. The prop forward kicking for the open spaces in the in-goal area. The ball will beat them all over the dead ball line. And play will come back to the centre of the quarter line with the tap kick.
Not a good man to run into, Steve Walters. Paul Vorton's come off second best by the looks of it. He's like a little Sherman tank.
Yes, but I must admit, I didn't think there was anything untoward in it. And here's this kick again. Salvatore, the idea was there, but Belcher was in good position and the kick was always way too long. And Vorton back on his feet now. That wasn't played correctly, but the referee pinged him for being inside the 5 anyway.
There was what you mentioned before, Steve, coming back to 5 and up to 5, the change across from Union to League, and it was Brad Burke who was the main offender there.
Well, that's what I found. You know, my first couple of games, I just found it really tiring on the legs, but not being used to it in Union. And you tend to get a little bit lazy.
But he played for Warringah, see? And here goes Canberra charging ahead. It's Brent Todd, plays it, Walters. Comes away to Stewart. Short pass. Went away to Lazarus. Well, it goes. In fact, he's lost the ball. It's Quinn who took the intercept. Georgialis slips it away now to Smith. Smith up towards the halfway line.
They've got to really cut down their mistake rate, I think, the Canberra Raiders. It's just...
Well, 3 mistakes and 3 crucial mistakes in the matter of 10 minutes.
Brad Burke. Gilmister. Actually, you spoke earlier about Brad Burke and his ability to chop down big forwards. I saw that memorable game. Then Randwick played the All Blacks a couple of years ago, and if ever a man had G-U-T-S after his name, it was Brad Burke. Portlock kicking for the open spaces between Ferguson and Belcher. Well, they're keen to play it down Canberra's end of the field, aren't they? Forced to pick it up in the end goal area as he brings it back, and look at Ticker Ferguson goes. Old man River.
He just keeps rolling along.
Oh, ladies. I won't tell you the first time I saw him play, but it was a long time ago on the Northern Rivers, and they'd still pack the stadium at McKittrick Park in South Grafton and down at Lower Clarence to watch him play.
Yes, they certainly do. The Grafton-South Grafton clash is memorable in Cairns.
Midway half and quarter line inside Canberra's territory. Stewart kicks deep. Portlock's not getting back, but Matt Burke has to chase all the way back. There's a few people around that think that Matt Burke should be playing in the centres and not on the wing. I believe he's a bit wasted out there.
Just saw a moment ago, David, a good run by Brent Todd. He's keyed up to have a big game today.
I believe Mr. Sheens had a word in his ear, if you can believe everything you read in the papers.
Yeah, with that little article in the paper would have decided to have a big one, I think.
There was some talk about him taking 2 weeks off. I'm sure he wouldn't take any weeks off.
Martin Quinn knocks it on, knock on both ways, says the referee. So with 10 minutes gone here at the Bruce Stadium, it's Canberra 0, Eastern Suburbs 0.
I wonder if that was 2 weeks off without pay.
Seen a scrum penalty go to the Raiders, so they won't be able to take a shot for goal. Instead, Ricky Stewart will kick it to the far touchline. We'll see a tap resumption. We'll see what the Raiders can put on, see if they can get that attacking prowess back in work in order. Lazarus takes it up half-heartedly, and he pays the penalty. Good tackle underneath Truella and Gilmister. Short ball to Brent Todd. They're working up a play here, the Raiders. Coyne will take this one up. Lance is on his back. No, it's a cutout. In fact, it goes to Clyde. Clyde running back into the ruck. So that's 3 they've used up. They've got a ploy on. Goes to Stewart. O'Sullivan. He throws the dummy, steps back in because the Eastern Suburbs defence moved up far too quickly. So that's 4 gone. Coyne back inside to Lance. Lance running hard. Goes through 1, 2. And a quick try to the Canberra Raiders to open the scoring here at Bruce Stadium.
I think it was a bit of a ploy of Tim Sheens to, keep plugging the forwards up the middle there and then spread it wide. That's one of their ploys. He said they made no ground. They made 4 tackles, never made any ground, and then spun it out wide.
Well, there's a good run from Dean Lance, missing from the team last week because of an injury. Gets through the tackle of Vorton, and he swivels back inside, and who's there backing up, ready to get himself involved early today? Mal Meninga. Pretty hard to stop, David, from 5 metres out, Mal Meninga.
Pretty hard to stop from 55 metres out.
Well, I think it'll be good for his confidence too. Mal was a bit quiet, I thought, against Cronulla, and he incites the Raiders to play good games, and I think that'll give him a bit of confidence and hopefully see a big one from him.
Well, Mal Meninga, of course, an outside centre. One wonders whether Mal Meninga could be brought into the forwards for, say, 5 minutes sometime during a game. He'd create absolute havoc in there. But I'm not Tim Sheens, I'm not the coach, and I didn't take the Raiders to a premiership last season. As Mal Meninga moves in, can he convert his own try? He certainly can. The scoreline, 6 points to 0. The Canberra Raiders leading the Eastern Suburbs.
Whether he'd like that switch or not's another thing.
Well, it's interesting you say that because, of course, Canberra's great guru, the man who led them for so long, Don Furnett, played Meninga in that exact possession in the 3rd test at Central Park in Wigan in 1986.
And he played against New Zealand in the forwards too.
Yes, he did. All right. Well, we've seen the first scoreline. It was all East in the first 10 minutes. 3 mistakes from the Raiders turning the ball over, but Eastern Suburbs couldn't make full use of those opportunities. As we all know, there's only 5 or 6 scoring opportunities in a game of first-grade rugby league this season, and Gary Belcher slides through on his knees and takes it beautifully and beats the first tackle of McGahn. Clyde looking for some work, and the Raiders are fired up for a big game here at Bruce Stadium, and the crowd is right behind them. Crowd building up. I'd say we've got at least 15,000 people here, as Coyne takes it to within about 15 metres of the halfway line. It'll go to Stewart for the clearing kick. He drives it back behind Matt Burke. It's a bad bounce. He picks it up. He's surrounded by green jumpers and takes the tackle of Laurie Daly on his own 22. The penalty, well, according to referee Weeks, the Raiders weren't marked up properly. They were standing at either side of the man playing the ball, so a penalty goes to the Eastern Suburbs Roosters, a much-needed one.
I believe what you said, wasting Matt Burke out on the wing. He's a very strong runner, and he'd be very good in the centres, to straighten the play up.
Yeah, Russell will come and tell us what to do next week. It's just there's few people have commented to me about it.
All right, well, here is that man we're talking about, Matt Burke, and he runs up and he's taken by Walters. Dummy goes back to Martin Quinn, the former Kempsey player. Certainly bulked up since those days. Truella or Gilmister. Gilmister just over the other side of halfway. Goes to Burke. Brad Burke. It's a bad bounce for Chicka Ferguson. It bounces inside. It's a good bounce for Eastern Suburbs, but Ferguson's got the ball back. Well, it looked like George Jarlis had claimed the ball, but the ball came out of his hands, and Ferguson wasn't one not to grab it. So it's Lazarus looking to unload, still looking to unload, but there's no one close enough to him. Walters pinching yardage down the blind side. And Daly in a dummy half. Bad pass. That's a good pass, though, to Meninga. Meninga to Belcher. Belcher's got gap. He's got straight through the gap. He gives it to Martin. Martin almost tackled before he got the ball, and he's lost the ball.
Yes, that was line ball, wasn't it? Gee, I thought he had a hand put on him before he received the ball.
Well, Eastern Suburbs come up with it. A turnover in possession. Martin almost away down the blind side. Beautifully worked backline move with Belcher chiming in.
Show him a little bit of open space and you can shut the gate.
Deceptive speed he's got, Belcher, hasn't he? He doesn't look like he's going that quick, but you look at the players trying to catch him, they just can't seem to get near him.
Peter, just after Mal Meninga scored, the doctor came to the sideline, had a look at Dean Lance's left eye, so we might keep an eye on Dean.
Okay, so to speak. That's a good ball away, but Daly's intercepted it. Ferguson was cruising up on the outside of him, but Daly looked inside. O'Sullivan. Oh, beautifully picked up by Stewart. Belcher had a good look at McGahn as he was coming up on top of him.
I'll tell you what, it's tough out there in the forwards. Don't you worry about this game being fast at the moment. I don't think I'd like to be out there at the moment. Some of these forward battles.
Well, a penalty's gone against the Canberra Raiders. Mal Meninga complaining bitterly about it, but you can't complain once the penalty's gone away to you. And we're going to see a shot at penalty, a shot at goal.
David Smith.
That's 6 points to 0. Oh, well, not quite sure exactly what the referee's ruling was.
It's a very uncommon mistake by Gary Belcher to knock on like that, but well, not going to lose the ball.
I thought he had a big look then.
But to be honest, gee, it's tough out there at the moment.
I'd probably have a little look too with McGahn running at me.
He was coming up flat out. He was going to bury him. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, there you go. It shouldn't have probably been passed to him. It was a bad pass. He should have just taken the tackle.
Yes, that's right.
Kept it safe.
All right, well, this kick would possibly about 40 metres in a direct line from the post. So it's not an easy one.
It's easy for this fellow. One of this fellow's biggest problems since he's taken over goal-kicking duties in the last few years at East is he misses the one from 20 metres out. You give them anything up to the halfway, and he kicks them out of the ballpark.
All right. Well, you've laid your cards on the table, Dave.
You've put the big knocker on him.
All right. Smith moves in, trying to put Eastern Suburbs on the board, and it looks high, it looks straight, but it's to the left of the post, and the score remains 6 points to 0. The Canberra Raiders leading the Eastern Suburbs Roosters at Bruce Stadium.
I said at least he had the distance.
Had the distance. I knew as soon as you said he was a good kicker from a long range, you'd miss it.
Put the big mocker on him.
But I couldn't believe it the other day. I was watching certain commentators, and they were commenting on the ball skills of Ian Russell. And as soon as they said it, you dropped the ball. Commentator's nightmare, never put your head on the chopping block because off it'll come.
Wasn't Pete Chapman, was it?
I'm used to that.
Okay, they're on the halfway line at the moment. Here's Vorton playing it. Truella takes it up. Big Martin Quinn. And they're continuing the ploy at the moment, the Roosters, when they have the football, just using Salvatore and Quinn. And here's Salvatore down the centre. And the big fella running straight at the forwards, taking 2 and 3 with him. From dummy half, David Truella pinches another 5 metres. Salvatore, dummy half. Burke, that's Brad Burke, Portlock. And he decides to kick for the open spaces, looking for that gap between Ferguson and Belcher. Ferguson that time getting the good bounce and taken to the ground around the legs by George Jarlis.
It seems, Steve, as though they're kicking towards Ferguson's wing too.
Bad mistake, I think.
Or are they trying to kick for that gap between Belcher and Ferguson and use the speed of George Jarlis? Because he is very quick, George Jarlis. And a lot of people were incredibly surprised last week when he actually caught Steve Linnane from behind when he was away.
Well, if I know if I was coaching, one of my ploys would be keep the ball away from Ferguson.
especially if he's got a room to get a head of steam up. Yeah. Canberra, last tackle against them. Here's Stewart. Didn't get time to actually take aim. And that's good football. That's control football, isn't it?
And that's a big kick.
Belcher's kick all the way down to the goal line. But that's the measured sort of play you were used to from the Raiders. All the confidence in the world. And a good support play from Belcher's kick has East down their own end of the park. That was a big hit, but
Big shoulder charge from Mal.
Tim Dwyer is still all right. The player taking his time getting back in the place of Steve Walters. They've lost the ball here, Canberra. Here's a chance for the Raiders as Coyne has it. Stewart finds O'Sullivan. This is Belcher. Belcher getting up on the outside of his man. There's the speed of the man. Back it comes to Daly. Daly over the quarter line. He puts a little kick in. It was towed ahead by Portlock. There should be 6 to go, and he says the referee. It's Canberra running across field. And it's Lazarus who'll get up and play it just outside the quarter line. This is a real crunch time for East because Canberra on the boil. Gee, they've looked good again in that combination of Belcher and Daly just inside the quarter line area. It's Canberra through Stewart. Stewart trying to find a little passage through. He got it away. But it's Steve Walters who can't get his pass away. Yes, he can. He finds Lance. Very much involved in the first goal. Is he going to put it up another one? Yes, here he goes again. Meninga. Try number 2 for Meninga. And try number 2 set up by Dean Lance.
Yes, the Lance-Meninga combination pays off for the second time here at Bruce Stadium. The double Quinella. Lance breaking the tackle. Let's watch it on the replay. It's good work from Stewart. Stewart gets the ball away. Walters, now this is a good pass. He's caught, he slips the ball out, goes to Lance. Lance swivels, still goes, and here comes Meninga.
That's the name of the game. You keep that ball alive, gaps have got to appear, especially, you know, if 2 or so players are coming in.
Well, here it is on the head.
Well, that was the good work there from Steve Walters.
Yes.
He never ever was going to get that pass away, and then carried on the good work with Lance. And then, well, you're not going to stop the human tank from there, are you?
No, the big rig was rolling. He's rolled over for 2 tries, and it's 10 points to 0 here at Bruce Stadium, and this crowd is enjoying this game.
It's a beautiful day for watching a game of rugby league. The sun's out, the rain's gone away. We've got tomorrow off. I think there'll be a few people celebrating tonight if the Raiders get up and win.
Yes, it's early days yet, but I can really see the green machine rolling out some armoury here this afternoon, David.
Mal Meninga, 11 metres in from touch, 24 metres out. It's high, it's straight, not straight enough though. So here at Bruce Stadium, it's Canberra 10, East 0. We'll be back shortly. Back on the halfway, eastern suburbs to restart play. David Smith kicks it deep inside Canberra's territory. And already Russell Fairfax is sending out the armour, but I think it's only for David Truella going to the head bin. Go to the sideline, Richard Keeley.
That's right. That's right. He's gone David Truella into the sin bin. Into the head bin rather, and he's been replaced by number 44, Steve Hardy.
And when he went straight past you then too, David Truella, what did he look like?
He certainly wasn't at Bruce Stadium. I give you the tip.
Well, I hope he's okay. He's a vital member of the countryside when they take on City on Anzac Day. Penalty goes to Canberra.
Not marking correctly.
Was it true that rumour I heard about the country origin? Wayne Collins might be a show for the hooker spot.
Well, some keen judges say that Wayne Collins would be a first-grade hooker in nearly any club in the competition. Of course, Steve Walters is holding him out of here. But his form is good enough. There's no doubt about that, as Steve Walters knows.
Well, we all saw Greg Conescu, an Australian hooker 1 year, and lose out to the other Walters last year. Who knows? That's got to be a shepherd. Ricky Stewart virtually gave himself up there. You've got to feel unlucky.
Well, let's have a look at that, David. Now, OK, it's a shepherd, but Ricky Stewart has not progressed. Immediately he knew it was a shepherd. Now watch, right? He stopped and the tackle is made. Now, the rule on the shepherd is where the player hinders another player coming in to make the tackle. Now, to me, referees, the difference between a good referee is the one who can be able to play the advantage correctly.
Yeah, what happened there? Glenn Lazarus overrun the ball a bit, and that's why Ricky's gone behind him.
Well, Eastern Suburb supporters listening, they might have sounded a little bit biased Canberra's way, but that rule, I believe, plays both ways.
It can, but that was just, well, he couldn't affect the tackle, I suppose, to be fair to the referee. That's good, strong Raiders defence, and it's going to be a penalty. Now, obviously, referee reaches third hill. I mean, the crowd mightn't like it, but the fact of the matter is that if the referee's called held, they're not allowed to go on with the tackle. Now, whether the referee's right or wrong for calling held at the time he called it, but if he's called it, he's the boss.
That's exactly right.
Well, they say the man in white rules the roost.
Certainly does.
Well, I don't know whether that's a play on words because the Roosters are playing, but certainly rules the roost at the moment. Hardy plays it, and here's Dwyer. Tim Dwyer joining the club from Manly. Hardy. Brad Burke. Here's McGahn. McGahn almost getting through the defence. Plays the ball to Portlock. That long pass finds Vorton. Then it's Brad Burke. Slips away. Here's George Arliss. He's a good stepper, but he can't get through that very hard defence. O'Sullivan and Meninga there. Open side again. Gilmister looking for runners, but running straight across field. There's no way I'll get through those two defenders, Coyne and Walters. 11 metres out. Salvatore. Oh, great tackle, Meninga. He realised Salvatore would probably step off his left leg and try and get there himself, and he just crunched him out of the action. Portlock puts it high. It's coming down. Daly's underneath it. Going high as McGahn. He's lost it. And Ferguson gets it. Ferguson over the corner line. He's got away from the disturbing grid. Here's Portlock coming at him. Also Klopp. Back on the inside. Daly. Daly is going to sweep away. And Daly will score underneath the post.
Well, what did we say? Don't kick it to Johnny Ferguson. Wow, and did Johnny Ferguson show some toe down the sideline?
Well, he also, he showed some toe, but he shows Laurie Daly isn't suffering from that hamstring injury anymore. He kept up with him and backing up, and he's got himself a try.
Well, don't be Canberra Raiders supporters. Love Johnny Ferguson. Watch this. Now, the ball went off one of the Eastern Suburbs players, dropped to Johnny Ferguson. Now, Martin Quinn almost gets him there. Good work by the prop to almost get Johnny Ferguson. He gets around Portlock, then throws it inside, and Laurie Daly says, here's a try, thanks very much, kicker. Well, you don't often see length of the field tries anymore at first grade league.
Again, you may remember that great try McGahn scored in the 87 final. That time he didn't catch the ball, and Ferguson said, see you later. Chewy on your boot, as he would have said 20 years ago. And on the inside is another man who'd understand that expression. He scored a similar try for Country against City last year, and he's come up with another 4-pointer there.
Well, David, I was wondering whether Chicken Ferguson had lost any speed in the off-season. I can now tell you he hasn't.
I think he's just shortened his steps a little bit, that's all.
And he makes more of them.
Blows a little bit more
Quinn
wind.
almost got him, though.
He
That's
did,
great work
yes.
for a prop. Give Quinn due credit. He had a great, really tried. Meninga from right in front. There's the Extras, and Canberra racing away now. They've got 12 minutes left in the first half, and it's Canberra 16, Eastern Suburbs 0. Johnny Ferguson up. He hasn't lost any of his speed.
Oh, he's a great player. I'm really going to be very disappointed when Johnny Ferguson decides to hang up his boots. And I just hope the last game that he plays there is a record crowd on hand to cheer him to a man as he comes off the paddock. All right, well, the Raiders in charge here at Bruce Stadium, 16 points to 0. After a fairly, well, let's not say a great opening 10 minutes, they've certainly started to put it together. Got about 11 and a half minutes left in the first half, and Brent Todd, he's playing well in this match, certainly a lot better than he has the last few weeks. But the man that I'm going to make a comment on is Mal Meninga. Now, Mal Meninga has been more involved in this game than I have seen him for at least the grand final last year. So obviously Mal Meninga's gone out there with the intent to lift his side and to lift his own form. Well, it goes back to Burke. Gets through Martin's tackle. Can't beat O'Sullivan. Smith. Portlock. Portlock steps off his right. Straight into the defence, though. Walters and Coyne. Martin Quinn. He's tackled, runs into the bookends. Lazarus and Todd.
Well, it's when those two work together is when the Raiders fired too.
Oh, that's right. Salvatore, that's a great tackle from Dean Lance.
Yeah, Pete, another great tackle by Lance. He's having a great first half.
What a defensive player he is. He's a model for any young footballer watching the game these days. If they want to just go along to a football match and watch how you should tackle, watch Dean Lance for the entire 80 minutes and be impressed. And here's another player you can be impressed with, Gary Belcher. Look at the pace of Gary Belcher. Almost through. Smith grabs him from behind. Martin, the dummy half. Long passes. Every one of the Raiders can throw a 40-metre pass. It's absolutely unbelievable. He's taken the tackle there, Stewart. Ferguson, a dummy half. He's trying to go through them again. But Quinn's got him this time.
Gary Belcher's got a very good knack of creating corridors at the sideline.
Yes, he does. That's a good run from Walters, and the crowd showing their appreciation. O'Sullivan, Meninga. Good tackle from George Arliss. Right around the bootlaces, and that's how you bring down Mal Meninga. Well, cut-out pass, I suppose, that was from Belcher. O'Sullivan had to reach high to bring it in. Portlock drops it. Has he dropped it back? No, it's knocked on, says the referee.
I thought there was only probably an inch in that.
He was never going to catch it, though, was he?
No, he was never really in position for it. Here it is on the replay. Just at the last minute, he had to dive, and the ball, well, referee says it's a knock-on. I'll go along with it.
Richard, is there any wind to speak of down there on the sideline?
Not at all, David. In fact, there was a little bit of a breeze when the game started, but it's in fact died right down now, and no breeze at all to talk about.
Just the way that he went in to take that is almost as if the wind held it up. But can't say there's any wind to hold it up.
Here's Belcher again. Taken by Portlock. Daly at dummy half. He's going to go to Coyne. Coyne is a great ball player. He's taken in a good tackle. McGann's hurt himself in the tackle too. Goes to Clyde. Clyde steps, continues on. Clyde, but he's driven back in a heavy tackle. Good tackle from Dwyer. Ferguson, taken brilliantly by Stewart. Back to Todd. Todd almost swivels through. About 10 metres out now, and the Canberra Raiders looking for another try. Goes across this back line to O'Sullivan. They're standing still. Daly isn't, though. His dummy's back into Meninga, and he takes the tackle.
Problem with the back line being so deep there, you know, they come up fast on you, you lose about 10 yards.
Well, they lost about 25 metres on that occasion. Goes to Belcher off his left foot. Puts it up, no trouble for Portlock this time. He'd gladly accept that and bring it out. And he's met by the green defensive line. Walters and Coyne, the tacklers. Quinn been involved all this half. Quinn is playing a good game for Eastern Suburbs, although they find themselves down 16 points. And they desperately need points before the half-time bell, which is about to go in about 7.5 minutes. Just rucking play up the centre. We should see a kick from Eastern Suburbs here. He goes to Portlock. Lazarus puts plenty of pressure on him. And Belcher is able to grab the ball before it goes over the sideline. Goes to Martin. Martin's taken in the tackle. Georgialis.
David Torella just about to come back on the paddock, Peter.
Okay. And he's much needed, but O'Sullivan's gone straight through. Daly's come up on the inside. I think O'Sullivan's done his hamstring again. Well, we'll keep an eye on O'Sullivan. I thought he pulled his hamstring halfway through that break. And it goes to Chicka Ferguson. Ferguson gets it inside to Walters, going for the line. Just try number 4 coming up for the Raiders. They're on the boil. Ferguson a dummy half. Stewart, Coyne. Coyne looks back inside, but he can't get it to Lazarus.
Well, O'Sullivan's limping.
It's a cut-out pass. Goes to Belcher. Belcher puts it on the toe. No one in front of him. Is it going to be a try? Meninga again. Hat-trick to Mal Meninga.
Well, the big fella's getting involved today. Like you said, he was fairly quiet against Cronulla, but today he's, overdoing it, I think. 3 tries.
3 tries to Mal Meninga. This time he didn't have to run over the line. It was good work from Gary Belcher, who's having a blinder here at the Bruce Stadium. And Mal Meninga there, first
I'll tell you what,
man to the ball.
Crusoe, Belcher. There's a few of them having blinders out there, but look at this.
It's great football.
Let's hope that Chrissy O'Sullivan hasn't torn his hamstring again.
Speaking of injuries, in fact, O'Sullivan's leaving the field and he's been replaced by number 17, Mark Bell. Also, another serious injury. I don't know if we can get if we've got a shot of it right there. In fact, it's Wayne Portlock. He's down. In fact, he made the tackle on O'Sullivan.
Well, great sporting gesture from the crowd, giving Portlock a big ovation as he leaves. Feeling he was playing quite well too, Wayne Portlock.
Well, it looks like Chris O'Sullivan on the sidelines done a hamstring.
Okay, Meninga tries to convert his try, and he tries correctly. The flags are up, and it's 22 points to 0 here. Canberra absolutely steamrolling the Roosters.
I wonder whether Mal Meninga's going in to go and see whether he can battle with Gordon Greenwich tomorrow.
Okay, and we have a replacement on the sideline.
We certainly do, Peter. Sandy Campbell's gone on. He's gone onto the wing, and Tim Dwyer has gone back into the fullback role.
So the restart of play. Canberra bringing the ball out. Here's Martin. Hardly seen the ball. He's been involved, but he's only touched the ball, I think, about twice over there.
That's the life of a winger. Except for Ferguson.
When you've got centres like Daly and Meninga and a fullback like Belcher.
Isn't it an amazing situation with wingers, though? One winger can feature so prominently in a game, and the other winger hardly sees the ball at all.
Yeah, but left wingers often do, because people find it easier to pass from right to left. It's true. Every right winger will tell you that's why left wingers figure more prominently.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that, mate. I never passed the ball.
And here's Meninga in the centre of the field, trying to burrow a passage down through those forwards. Last tackle against Canberra, right on half-time. Stewart. And he hasn't had to revert to the kicking game much at all today. They've been playing so well, and well, you can't really blame him. It was a great effort from Canberra, wasn't it?
Well, I was just about to say what a great catch it was.
Well, you really have to feel for the young fella there. He had it, and then just at the very last moment, he lost control of it.
He did the right thing, you know. He couldn't allow that to bounce. No.
Well, he had his back to the opposition as well. Yeah. Just as we were about to sing his praises, loses control. Now, can they put another one on before half-time? All the beats were offside then, as Belcher, and you don't blame them, Belcher's pass has gone loose. Meninga. This is Clyde. He's been quiet today so far. Daly, Stewart, Coyne. Steve Walters. Daly, Meninga, cuts out one. I thought that came off. Did that come off Martin? Was it Martin's head?
Yes, I thought it came off his head.
Ferguson, Steve Walters. Well, I'm not quite sure who that was designed for, but anyway, they've still got the ball here at Canberra, and they're making ground as Lazarus. He's got it away to Ferguson. Can he slip the pass? Yes, he's got it away to Lance again. Lance gets it away to Stewart. Stewart for the line himself, but Stewart's in. Another Canberra try, and another one set up by Dean Lance.
Like I said before, that's the name of the game. You keep that ball going, keep it moving. You know, it becomes desperation, and the gaps have got to appear, and then again they'll caught short out wide.
Well, this is good work from Chicka Ferguson originally. Watch him dances, and then slips that ball away. Lance backing up, throws it over the top. Stewart pulls it in with one hand. Great ball skills, Ricky Stewart. That's one thing I've always noticed about him. Look at this. Just he's got fingertip control as if it's like an arrow died on his fingertips.
How many times has Lance been involved in the tries? The last pass before they...
3 so far today.
3.
Yep, Ricky Stewart, the try scorer, but again, keeping the ball alive. And when we saw Steve Walters get a ball away from a seemingly impossible position to set up Meninga's second try, we saw Ferguson keep it alive there. And that's the key to the game. If you back up the ball carrier, you can get the pass away, dragging in 2 and 3 defenders.
I had to laugh this morning, Ricky Stewart. You know, we were talking about Good Friday, and I conned him in and he said, can you eat chicken? Can you eat chicken on Good Friday? And I said, yes, it's white meat. So he's had this chicken, and then he was told this morning that you can't eat chicken on Good Friday. And he said, oh, no, he said, I'm not going to have a good one. The big fella's going to be against me.
Meninga's shot at trying to convert the Stewart try is awry, and Canberra lead Eastern Suburbs, and it's still the first half, 26 points to 0.
Well, I don't know if the big fella is against him, mate. That was a great try. Actually, all the Raiders are playing well, but we've got to say Eastern Suburbs are missing tackles. Well, here's a tricky one for you, Steve. You're the Eastern Suburbs coach. What do you say to them at half-time?
Well, what can you say? 26 points down. You just have to, you know, say buckle in and try and, you know, stop them.
And the big thing is that Russell Fairfax hasn't got much up his sleeve. In the last few weeks, East have won reserve grade, and he's had a few players he can put on to put pressure on first grade. Today, for the first time, they've been beaten in reserve grade, and they were beaten and very convincingly in President's Cup.
Well, you know, losing Twiller, isn't very good either for him, I don't think.
Ball's loose. It's going to be a scrum. Often happens with Canberra, though. Once they get on top, they really are a machine. And having lost those 2 games in a row...
Well, you know, all you can say is you just got to look at how Cronulla kept us. You know, you just got to bustle, you know, Mal. They kept Mal quiet and they kept Clyde quiet. Now, whether that's a plea to beat Canberra or not, I don't know. But they're letting them run, and you can see, you know, Mal scored 3 tries.
Well, I know it really hit the Canberra side, having lost that game in the last 50 seconds last week. And I know a few of the players said, well, we know how Balmain feels now. And that would have been much more serious losing the grand final in a competition game, Dave.
And Tim Dwyer, who copped that heavy knock then, seems to be okay. There he is. Didn't quite get the pass. They'll hardly have time to put this thumb down that. Referee said incorrect feed, and he's going to blow it up. So at half-time, the Canberra Raiders go in leading Eastern Suburbs by 26 points to 0.
Canberra made 161. Dean Lance 28 and Glenn Lazarus 27. All right, there's the kickoff. Back to Gary Belcher, who flips it behind him, and the referee agrees with me. Knock back, he says.
So I reckon Wayne Portlock wouldn't agree with you after the one in the first half.
Yes, that was a tough ruling, but as we said before, we can't argue with the referee. Once he's made that decision, that is it. Glenn Lazarus. Well, Eastern Suburbs must pick up their tackling in this half if they hope to be able to control Canberra. Richard Keeley on our sideline. Do we know what the coaches have said to the players?
Yeah, I've just spoke to both coaches, in fact, and first of all, the report on Wayne Portlock. He's been taken to hospital for precautionary measures. He's obviously been concussed and probably out for a couple of weeks. No changes to either side at this stage. Russell Fairfax has told them to put a little bit of pride in their game. They've obviously made too many silly mistakes and not to throw the towel in. Of course, Tim Sheens, he was ecstatic with the side's first half performance, and he just wants them to keep going and keep them scoreless. As I said, no changes, but I think Russell Fairfax would like to make some if he could.
Yes, I'm sure he'd like to put Mal Meninga into his back line. Right. Well, we just saw a kick from Dwyer come off the side of his boots. Tim Dwyer has gone back to fullback with Portlock off the field. Sandy Campbell's gone into the wing. Oh, well, Meninga's been able to scoop that ball up, but Belcher was almost straight through. Tried to link with Daly, and the ball went askew.
I think he's hurt himself in that tackle too, Gary Belcher. He's linked it a little bit, probably a cork.
Raiders. Brent Todd fairly flat that time. An easy tackle. If a man that size can ever be an easy tackle.
What they call the little settler.
Yes, it was the little settler. There's the bookends working as Pistons. 1-2. Todd Lazarus. Todd Lazarus. Listen to how often we'll call that through the season. Goes to Meninga with some room out wide. Back to Belcher. Belcher almost through the tackle. Just taken by Salvatore. Stewart kicks behind, trying to drive Burke back over his own try line, but he doesn't. And Burke, can he beat the tackle of Clyde? Yes, he can. This is a good run from Burke, taken by Lazarus. Good run from the Eastern Suburbs winger.
Well, he's a hard runner, Burke. He pumps his leg, he never stops. Like I said, he hasn't got much of a palm, but he just keeps running and breaks out of tackles.
Well, talking about Matt Burke, whether he should be a centre or a winger today might be the second half to see him switch back in there to try and control Daly and Meninga.
Or whether he should be opposing Meninga, you know. Look.
Martin Quinn, taken by 3 defenders at 40 metres out. Strong run. Gilmeister goes back. Georgalis, it's a high kick and it goes straight down Belcher's throat. Can he beat the first? He goes straight through Belcher. He's in blinding form today. Gets the ball to Bell, and Bell's got some blinding pace, but he leaves it behind. Picked up by Ferguson. The referee says we'll play a knock on. And just as well for Eastern Suburbs, because Chicka Ferguson was on his way to the try line. And it looks like we might have an injury here. The referee's blown time out.
Bell it is. Now, I reckon he might have done a rib or something. Just from the way the tackle was and the concern some of the players had there.
We've had only 3.5 minutes of the second half, and the official crowd attendance, 12,675.
Does that account for the ones jumping the fence? Or?
Well, I would have thought there's about 15,000, but...
I think it's the only ground in Sydney where motorbikes patrol the outside.
Yes, they do. OK, Eastern Suburbs with a chance. Goes to Dwyer, and Meninga goes crutch. Stopping dead in his tracks. Georgalis. We haven't seen much of him. Haven't seen much of the Eastern Suburbs attack in the first half, as the scoreboard shows. Good run from Quinn.
And Bell's all right too. He's running very freely and breathing freely, so he seems okay.
It's good news. Brad Burke back to Dwyer. Dwyer still going. And Bell makes the tackle on the far side. Brad Burke Benny Vorton. Very quiet, Vorton. Truella. Belcher right on the sideline. Will he be driven over? No, he won't. So the Raiders got all the work to do to get it out of their own 22, and that's a strong tackle. Gilmister. Martin runs from dummy half. That's 3 tackles. Shouldn't muck around with it for too much longer in their own half. Watch for Stewart to put it downtown. I'd say this will be it. No, goes to Lazarus.
Now you usually
good ball round the back from Lazarus. Coyne drops it but picks up. Goes to Clyde. Clyde gets it away to Daly. Daly's around his man, and Daly's off downfield. Where's his support? Daly looks on the inside. Martin goes to Bell. Bell's got a lot of pace, but he's taken in a tackle about 15 metres out. Last tackle for the Canberra Raiders. Can they put a try on in the second half? Goes to Coyne down the blind side. He leaves it behind him, and the referee says it was a knock-on, so we'll have a change in possession.
Yeah, I think he might have just been, looks like he's winded. I think he copped one as he passed the ball.
That's Laurie Daly, who's down injured. Well, some great attack from the Canberra Raiders, almost opened their scoring in the second half. Handling errors 12 to the Roosters, 9 to Canberra. That would be a statistic that wouldn't actually please Tim Sheens, but he'd be glad to see it's only 9.
The trainer there's showing a bit of concern for Daly. I'm not quite sure.
I think he's just letting him get back his breath by the looks of it. He hasn't really come to attend to anything.
Yeah, in fact, one of the touch judges has come in from that far side of the field, so they may be making a report on that tackle.
Well, he certainly hit the deck after he gave the pass to Bell. He hit the deck very heavily.
Well, here's the replay. Daly makes the break downfield, and well, he sort of slipped into the tackle. He might have caught the elbow, but I don't think we could point the finger at Tim Dwyer on that occasion. Well, it goes to Vorton. Eastern Suburbs, 33 minutes and 42 seconds to get out of this 26 points to 0 hole.
See, Daly's still down on the ground, you know.
Maybe Tim Sheens might take him off. With such a cushion we've got at the moment, the Canberra Raiders. The penalty goes to...
Well, Daly's still
Eastern
down there. Now, if he's been hit in the head, surely there's the option to put him in the head bin.
Well, they're taking a long time. He's been down for a good 3.5 minutes now. Eastern Suburbs. Salvatore. What can he do? Oh, good tackle. Quinn goes up and down. Burke. Georgalis has run around. Back inside. It's Cook. Cook running well. Down the blind side. It's a good run. Straight through almost, Truella.
Well, it looks like he's recovered from his head bin.
There we go. Georgalis. Oh, there wasn't a good pass from Georgalis. And Chicka Ferguson's recovered the ball for the Canberra Raiders.
And Daly's starting to slowly but surely walk back into his position, but the trainer's left the field or is leaving the field, so I suppose there he is. Well, that's a good sign anyway.
Good sign, but that was a long time to have one player down, and we almost saw Eastern Suburbs come up with a try. Anyway, a very valuable player, Laurie Daly. In my opinion, the form centre in the Winfield Cup competition at the moment. And here's another form player at the moment too, Steve Walters. Good strong run from the hooker. Ball almost looked like it was going to go forward. It's Martin with no room to move, and he tries to kick it forward. Did come off the Eastern Suburbs player, and yes, we'll have a put in by the Canberra Raiders.
I've seen watching some other matches. That's a ploy. You know, you get on the sixth tackle, give it to the winger, and they actually kick the ball into the opposition winger and hope that it does go out because you get the feedback.
Yeah, there's no rule that says that it's not the feed. It's only whether it's a charge down kick or a knock on or not.
Well, Eastern Suburbs are all offside in the back line, but Belcher's come through, and Belcher's gone straight through. It goes to Bell. Bell now with some more room to move, and the inside is Daly. No, it is Daly. Is it Martin? It's Martin, and he gives it off to Bell again, and it's a try. Oh, great football, Canberra Raiders. Great football. And good work, Mark Bell.
And Gary Belcher. That's where the trial started, remember, right back from the scrum, where East moved up in one line, but they left a couple of holes. And the try really started right back here. Now, here he is. Look at this. Belcher gets right on the outside, and the beautiful running on the angle. It was Bell who set it up. Martin on the inside. Martin almost going all the way, backing up on the wraparound. That's just class football.
Yes, well, that threw me with Martin coming out from the centres, of course, because Daly's probably in a rest on the wing. But it was good work from Bell and Martin, the two players with blistering pace.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show if you back up, the rewards are always there.
Well, he's another one who's been down during the second half, receiving attention too. So.
And back here on the halfway, Daly talking to the trainer. Scoreline 30 points to nil. Meninga, can he add the extras? Kicks it off to the right, so the scoreline remains 30 points to nil in favour of the Canberra Raiders.
It's to restart play after that brilliant Mark Bell try. Deep inside Canberra's territory. And there's one of the men who figured prominently in that try. That's Paul Martin getting the ball just outside the quarter line. Well, that was amazing. Of course, that came back from that feed into the scrum where Matt Burke thought that the scrum feed shouldn't have gone Canberra's way, and of course it had to. But Belcher running across third, and if you don't come up in one line, they find a little bit of a hole, class players. And when you've got the speed and the backing up ability of Canberra, they'll cut you to ribbons. Now look at this. This is the side that's very confident at the moment, Canberra. Throwing the ball just to the gap, and there's always someone there to pick it up. Look at that. Wasn't intended for him, but they still managed to come away with the ball. And here's Meninga kicking into the open spaces. He'll win the race for the ball. Oh, look at him go! And away goes Val Meninga. This will be try number 4 for the afternoon for the big man.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Oh, Val Meninga.
Well, Gordon Greenwich scored a century in his 100th Test match for the West Indies. This fella might score a century today just to send his critics all the way back to the West Indies. Look at this. This came from nothing. But don't ever forget, this fellow's very fast. And when he's that strong...
Well, I thought that Eastern Suburbs player held back a little bit, but I don't blame him. There was no way I would have run in for the ball then. He saw Mal coming down. There was no way he was going to move. He was going for that ball, and that was it.
Well, he certainly was. It was great work from Mal Meninga. He scooped the ball up, had a look for his wing. Of course, there was no one near him. Didn't matter.
Mate, if I ever saw him coming, I'd put a copper's hat on and say, this way, pal.
Here you go, Mr. Meninga.
There wouldn't be a State of Origin game coming up shortly, would there?
There is worse luck, and they might be on opposite sides, Meninga and Daly.
Oh, what a clash.
Well, they will be. Just depends where. Meninga converts his own try, and Canberra are leading Eastern Suburbs by 36 points to nil.
This is what they need. They need it for, confidence booster, and the scoreboard shows it.
Well, last year, Parramatta came down to Seaford Oval when the Raiders really clicked into gear, and at the end of that game, Peter Sterling and a number of other Parramatta players said Canberra would win the competition. And this is the type of form that they were in on that day.
Smith restarts play again. Straight to Stewart, off to Martin. It's almost like a crack record, isn't it?
There's been a change in the Eastern Suburbs lineup, David. Steve Hardy's back on the field, and Martin Quinn is left.
Well, I think that's a wrong decision, because what's happened here, he's called held, but they should have got the penalty for trying to push him out. If he's passed the ball after being called held, we've got the penalty against him.
Well, that's exactly right.
Very interesting decision. The referee might have been playing the advantage. I've called held. If they're going to go on with the tackle, I'll give the penalty to Canberra. And then, of course, he's thrown the ball. He'd be a referee, mate. He was caught really then.
Well, it's 36 points to nil in favour of Canberra, so fair enough. Give East a break.
Here's Matt Burke, 9 metres out. Trewella. And here's one of the replacements who's on the field, and that's Steve Hardy.
And there's another replacement on too, David. 49, Trevor Patterson's gone on.
Gilmister, about 4 metres out. Matt Burke goes from dummy half, gets it away. Georgialis steps. Georgialis, oh, he's lost the ball. It was towed forward by Smith and goes dead. And play should start with the tap from the centre of the quarter line, and will. Georgialis was reaching out. I think he thought he was able to get there himself. Here he is again, trying to get burrow through underneath the opposition. You saw it go off Georgialis's hand, straight onto the boot of David Smith and over the dead ball line.
I just mentioned that Trevor Patterson had gone on. I don't think in the shot, but just behind the Eastern Suburbs goal post there, you can see Hugh McGahn being carried from the field, or assisted from the field.
You'll see now that Brent Todd's taken one up. Glenn Lazarus taken one up. It's the old ploy out of the red zone, they call it. Just a settle play, get the big fellas taking it up and then spin it wide. We'll see what happens.
And look at this fellow go. He's got an abundance of speed and beautiful handling again. Sees the Raiders take it well inside Eastern Suburbs territory. Mark Bell, an amazing run. Give him a bit of room to move. Now out wide, here's another centre three-quarter. His name's Lazarus. Well, he'd like to play like one.
You often see him out wide too, Steve.
He's got the ball skills of one.
Has he what? Coin. Well, you don't blame them today. They're playing as 13 gazelles, this mob. And Hugh McGahn, I think the look says it all. I think Hugh, though, in many ways, would probably be fairly happy that he got up there this early. Lovely ball, and here's Clyde. Clyde down to the corner line. Look at Clyde go off to Ferguson, and Ferguson will bring it round and score underneath the posts. That's another try, and it's 40 points to 0.
Absolutely unbelievable football. A beautiful pass from Laurie Daly set that up. When we go back to the replay, watch the hands and skill of Laurie Daly to get this ball away. And the crowd's going berserk. Why wouldn't they? Well, we've gone back a little bit later, but just have a look at the running there. Once that ball went to Ferguson, that was it. Shut the gate. The horses bolted.
Well, it's a good little Easter present for the crowd.
Well, there it was. It was beautiful hands from Laurie Daly.
And good skills from this man.
Oh.
Set it up well. Beautifully timed fast to put Ferguson away. Some players would have mucked that up.
No, not when you've played for Australia like Bradley Clyde has. He's got all the skills and that. The only thing is his age. He's only 19 and got a lot more years ahead of him.
I thought you were talking about John for a minute.
Mate, he'd love to be.
Wouldn't he love to be 19?
Wouldn't the world love to see him 19? Here's Meninga. Another conversion goal for Mal Meninga, and he brings up his 24th point of the afternoon. And Canberra 42 are leading Eastern Suburbs 0.
Well, David, often if you see a scoreline like that, you'd say what a terrible game it was, but I think anyone who is at Bruce Stadium today would say what a lie that would be, because this has been a tremendous game of running rugby league.
Well, the first 10 minutes, Eastern Suburbs are on top. And that tells the story, but it's not that bad against Eastern Suburbs in comparison to Canberra.
Well, it goes to show, you know, if the referees really concentrate on that 5-metre rule, it does create a running game.
Yes, well, he's done a good job, this referee. He's no doubt some tough decisions.
But Canberra will have him back every week. Today, they've had him against Illawarra and won, so... But he is, as I said at the beginning of the game, there's a lot of good judges around that have very big raps on this fellow as a referee.
Well, it's one of the main rules, you know, the 5-metre rule, and you know, if you don't enhance it, it bottles the game up and makes it, you know, no scoreline, and you know, it's good for the crowd, all these tries.
A Canberra mistake. Mark that one down in the book, will you? Because I don't think they've made too many since about the first 10 minutes. It's a penalty going to Eastern Suburbs. Obviously,
I think he's ruled interference after he's kicked the ball.
I think he ruled interference before he kicked the ball, mate, on the trying to put pressure on Stewart, something that Eastern Suburbs players been pushed out of the road. Not that it makes much difference. Now Truella takes the second kick. Matt Burke runs straight into Coyne, and also their ending assistance is Brent Todd. Patterson's the dummy half. Trevor Patterson taken back. And he's lost the ball. Referee's going to penalise Canberra. And he must have thought that Patterson had it.
It looks like the referee listened to Oliver.
Well, that can happen too. Truella. Vorton. And here's Georgialis again, but that's good defence. Walters was in there, and so too was Lazarus. Truella looks for a runner. Going ahead of Salvatore. Truella thought about going the open side, the little pirouette, but they're too await the Raiders. and put him on the deck only 5 metres out. Salvatore, open side, Vaughton, Bradberg, Georgalis. Georgalis claps on the space, on the speed. Back on the inside in space was Gilmister. Some of the crowd thought it was a forward pass. Last tackle against Eastern Suburbs. Dwyer, the dummy half. Short side, it comes to Vaughton. Vaughton tries to crash his way over. It goes to Bradberg, and Bradberg is only a centimetre short, and that will be a turnover.
That's good defence from the Raiders.
Well, it's good defence when a side's up 42 points to 0 to be able to defend that grimly shows a lot of character.
You'll see Brent Todd and Glenn Lazarus have to take... Oh, well. Inside the 5. But the old ploy is usually the old 1-2 system where the front rowers just take one each out of the red zone, they call it. Settles things down, but we've got a penalty out of it.
When you call the red zone, Steve, what are we talking about? Their half of the field?
No, up until the 25, they call it.
OK. Well, they're out of the red zone and they're into the green go zone. And it's Brent Todd, who's had a very good game today. So's this man, Glenn Lazarus. Point out a Raider who hasn't had a good game. Walters, Stewart, Coyne. Coyne runs into them and still running hard. He's lost the ball, but the referee didn't see it. It's play on, and look at him come through. Big Bradley Clyde gets the ball away, goes back behind Meninga, but there's Lance to pick it up. Lance will play the ball just inside East halfway. Right across to Daly. Daly tries a Meninga chip and chase and almost comes up with the ball, but Dwyer just gets there in time. Sandy Campbell. Oh, Stewart let one go. Linesman might have seen it. The referee didn't. Woof. And look at Dean Lance come up. Well, he's looking for one of those big hits, Lance. I pity the Eastern Suburbs player, he gets it.
They look good when they come off too.
They certainly do. Salvatore, Cruella, Burke, Georgalis. He chips over the top. Where's Belcher? Mr. Anticipation takes it beautifully. Still going, Belcher. Gets the ball back to Bell. Bell's smothered up. The Raiders are ready to launch another attack. Lazarus. Stewart pushes off the opposition.
That was that chicken.
Oh, but he comes back to Ella and says, take that, son.
Peter, I think you'd agree Ricky Stewart's done a lot more running this week than in previous weeks.
He has. I believe that Ricky Stewart was told to do more running this season. It's only now he's starting to work out which way he should go, and that's forward like this man's going, Steve Walters.
Well, it's, you know, it's showing that his only skill's not just kicking. He can set things up and he can run. He's got a good step.
Oh, look at this. Bell. Bell goes to Ferguson. Ferguson down the sideline, back inside. Oh, Johnny Ferguson, you are a champion. Down into the post, and the crowd rises one to proclaim a hero down Canberra way in Johnny Ferguson.
Have a look at the pass that Bell gave him, though. Wasn't that a gem of a pass? Under pressure.
And David, Bell is one of their reserve graders too.
Now have a look at this. Look at this perfect pass. It might have been a fraction forward, but no, they're playing so well.
He just spins and turns on a 5-cent piece, the old Ferguson. There's no way you can really bottle him up. When he's got you on a one-on-one situation like that, just goes to show. You watch him step in here.
Well, as I mentioned, I said Bell's a reserve grader. I'm not taking anything away against Mark Bell. He's a great player. He's got scintillating pace. It just shows you what a strength Canberra will be, not just in season 90, but in years to come.
Of course, the ironic thing is, Peter, that Ferguson came from the Eastern Suburbs club to the Raiders.
Well, thanks very much. And wouldn't he like this? Look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard clicks up another 2. Can the Canberra Raiders make it 50? It's 48-0 here at Bruce Stadium.
There hasn't been a 50 score in first grade for a long time.
Well, the crowd here at Bruce Stadium are chanting, we want 50, we want 50. And here's one of the replacements on the field. We'll go down to the sideline with Richard Keeley.
Gary, a big effort by the Raiders today. Tim Sheens put the question to them earlier in the week. He was looking for a big performance, and a big performance he's certainly got today.
Yeah, we've been haven't been playing to our best ability the last 2 weeks. We're unfortunately we were beaten by 1 point last week. It was pretty hard to take, and the guys are really keen to have a good game today.
Well, I guess you'll be looking forward to hopefully State of Origin selection shortly.
Yeah, mate, I hope so. I just keep doing my job, and I just hope that the selectors see fit to pick me again.
Well, Gary, thanks for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Richard, and thanks, Gary Coyne, one of the gentlemen of Rugby League. I know last year he was selected as a reserve for the Queensland State of Origin. He's certainly shown that he's worthy of a starting jumper this season. Eastern Suburbs staring down the barrel of a 50-point loss. It's 48-0 here now. 14 minutes and 47 seconds remaining as Vaughton runs across field, looks for Campbell and finds him back on the inside, and he can't get the ball away as he's wrapped up by Bell. Hasn't done a thing wrong since he's come on.
You don't want to be rude to some of these East players, but then there are only 2 players really running for the ball.
Well, almost the pass away to Hardy from Georgalis, and Georgalis has been one of their best players, but here goes Ferguson again. Well, the people in the Bruce Stadium are off their seat for a few fleeting seconds.
What I was about to say was that the two most experienced players on the east side, the two with the greatest hate of losing, Vaughton and Truella, were the only 2 running after the football just a moment ago.
Yeah, well, it's fairly hard to get yourself up when you're looking at a scoreboard and showing 48 points to 0.
Certainly are, and it comes across to Daly. Daly goes straight to the middle. Look at this boy go. The Junie Express gets it to Belcher. Belcher's got support. They're overrunning. They get it back to Martin. Martin chips ahead. It comes off Burt's off his leg, and eventually it comes off the Canberra Raider last, so it will be an Eastern Suburbs put in. It came off Meninga.
It should have been a try.
Well, it should have been. I think, if I can criticise Belcher, I think he possibly should have given it a little bit earlier. How do you criticise any player when it's 48 points to 0? Well, that could have been the 50 points the crowd's been chanting for. Dwyer. Vaughton a dummy half. Hardy. They get the ball away now. Georgalis. Across to Cook. Back on the inside. It's good running. Smith takes it right up to the halfway line. Georgalis. Hardy. Looking for support. There's no one there. Yes, there is this time. Georgalis again. Georgalis steps. Look for support. Throws a pass. A wild one, but it's picked up by Truella. He's still running a bit loose in the middle now, the Canberra Raiders, as Eastern Suburbs mount their best attack of the game. He goes from dummy half, Gilmester. Still going, tackled about 5 metres out. Eastern Suburbs, their first real big chance of scoring late in the second half. Comes across, Salvatore goes, but Daly and Meninga come in and wrap him up 5 metres out. On the 5th, East might hoist it. Goes across to Vaughton. Vaughton puts it up. It's a high kick. Plenty of pressure coming right down next to the post. Lazarus got it, knocks it on and picks it up again, but it'll be Eastern Suburbs feed. So he's still with a chance to put their first points on the board.
Yeah, I think it's become desperation stuff. They want to get some kind of points on the board. 48 points to 0 is not a good scoreline.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for Eastern Suburbs. Vaughton might peel off the back of the scrum. He's 5 metres out.
See whether they
ball goes in. Burke flicks it to Georgalis. Oh, it's a shocking pass. Well, he's going to rule it a try. It's going to rule it a try. It was a shocking pass, and obviously it must have come off his leg. I'd like to look at the head-on replay of it. The ball, to me, appeared as though it might have even gone forward. Well, let's have a look at it. Probably the head-on's the best one to watch. Oh, the ball just went loose. Here's the head-on replay. Well, just a little bit late with it, but definitely the last part of the try was correct.
As I said, just as the scrum went down, watch the blind side. It's an old ploy, Eastern Suburbs. They put 2, and they had Georgalis and Dwyer on the blind side. The move didn't work as well as it should have. But still, I'd like to see where that pass from Georgalis went.
Yes.
It actually went to ground and went forward. But from the time Dwyer was in the movement, it didn't touch anything but his legs, and he was definitely first to the ball.
Well, 48 points to 4 with 10 minutes to go. And a kick to come from Eastern Suburbs.
Did I hear you give someone 48.5 start a few moments ago for the rest of the game? Oh, I think you might have to pay up shortly.
Fancy giving someone 48.5 start.
Well, they haven't put it up on the scoreboard yet, Peter, so you still might collect.
Well, I don't think the scoreboard attendant knows where the east side of the keyboard is. All right, well, let's see if the points can be added. It's waved away. David Smith isn't able to convert the try. The sign on the scoreboard says the grandstand bars will stay open till 8 o'clock tonight.
Might be 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Especially with tomorrow off.
All right, David, see if you can call a 50-point win here to the Canberra Raiders for me.
And you two can think about who the man of the match is, because I reckon that's probably the most difficult thing of all to choose today. There's been some outstanding displays out there. As Eastern Suburbs bring it back, it's hard to go past Meninga, then, when you think of his contribution. 4 tries and 5 goals, I think it is.
Well, it's not too bad, is it?
Pity they can't give it to 2 of them, I reckon, Meninga and Belcher.
Yes, well, I agree with you too. I thought...
I'm not going to disagree.
I thought Belcher's had an absolute blinder out there, but Meninga's been in the right place at the right time. We'll think about that one, Steve.
Okay, Eastern Suburbs on their own quarter line. And the fellow involved in the tackle over there, Dean Lance, was very much involved early in the game. John Ferguson's had a mighty game. Laurie Daly's done everything right. The forwards have done everything right.
What about that youngster, Chicka Ferguson too, eh?
Georgialis decides to kick deep. And going back there and taking it superbly is Belcher. And that is the player playing with confidence. He took the odds to that and he brings it back, and here's Ferguson. And Ferguson had the crowd on their feet again, anticipating something. Comes away to Stewart, to Daly. Now they've got a chance if they move it quickly here. The Raiders have got an overlap as Martin gets into space. Now Martin's down to the halfway. Thornton's giving chase. Martin throws the dummy. Martin took the odds and lost because he had Daly unmarked on his inside. They still might score though. They've got the numbers. Here it comes away to Meninga. Meninga gets it away to Walters. Walters ducks under a couple and can't keep it going. They've still got East stretched on that open side. If they move it, as it comes to Meninga. Away now, Stewart. On it goes to Clyde on the inside. This man deserves a try, Lance. He's been, well, he was involved with the last pass of 3 tries from dummy half. Stewart thought about throwing the pass. Last tackle against Canberra. Walters, Meninga. Meninga puts the kick in. Beautifully picked up on the half volley by Burke. And Burke looked at a lot of open paddock in front of him for a fleeting moment. And the gap finally closed. Well, Martin will remember that Paul Vaughton's still a great, great player, because Vaughton didn't have a great deal of sideline to use. Well, not as much as he'd like to. And Martin took the odds of getting around him, and Vaughton won. A lesson for him anyway. Cook coming back the open side. He slipped that pass away. This is Georgialis. He has heaps of space. He's also got heaps of talent. Can he get the pass away? It was Oranges, and it's Daly who brings it back now. He's got away from Burke. No, he doesn't.
He should be shot for throwing a pass like that, or throwing ball.
Well, you never know. Brad Burke might have called for it too.
Well, I think Georgialis has been the best Eastern Suburbs player on the paddock.
Ferguson.
Well, I suppose, you know, with the scoreboard like that, you got to try anything.
Well, to their credit, Eastern Suburbs haven't thrown out put the white flag up.
Steve Walters.
He's had a good game too, Steve Walters.
Wants to give it to the lot. Stewart fires the pass away to Clyde, who's had a very strong second half, and it's a penalty against East, being up inside the 5.
Will they take a shot at goal?
Well, I wonder whether Meninga had the shot at goal. He's walking across. I'd say some of these teammates will say, mate, waste 2 minutes, will you? We need a breather. I mean, Steve, if you're on the field, it's been a humid day down here with a bit of moisture in the ground and a bit of sunshine. But he is going to kick for touch.
Well, they're try-hungry, the Raiders.
Another replacement in the Raiders lineup, Ashley Gilbert, going on for Dean Lance. He's getting a well-earned early mark, and he'll get an enthusiastic round of applause from this big crowd here.
Well, he deserves to, because he's had an absolute blinder.
Well, listen to the crowd.
So the Raiders still with a chance to post 50. 32 metres out. And again, it's one of those bookends, Lazarus, who just takes it up. And gee, they do their job efficiently. He and Todd. Daly fires it out from Walters. Meninga decides to go on his own. The little pirouette, or big pirouette, the dummy. Meninga in space. This will be try number 5. Mal Meninga comes around and equals the Rugby League Winfield Cup record of 5 tries in one match.
Fantastic.
And 50 points comes up for Canberra as well.
Well, I think that's just settled who the man of the match is.
Have a look at this. He had 3 men. They came to him like bees. He got through. Very good defence. I mean, Trewella and Gilmister are noted tacklers.
And I thought Ashley Gilbert was actually saying, give me the try. You've got to be kidding, Mel says. Well, here it is, head on. Just look at the power of Mal Meninga. Well, swats them off like flies. Is he smiling yet? He's about to. Ashley Gilbert had something to say.
And 5 tries in a match. What a great performance from Mal Meninga.
Yeah, I think he sealed the Man of the Match award.
Yes.
That kind of performance.
I think Richard Keeley will agree as he kicks the goal.
He puts over the extras, and it also means that Peter Chapman, with his 48.5 start with 5 minutes to go, can breathe a sigh of relief. Canberra 54, Eastern Suburbs 4. The clock stopped with 5 minutes to go. We've still got some time left, though.
I think the Raiders Leagues Club at Mawson will be fairly chock-a-block tonight. It's amazing after a win you can always double the crowd.
Richard Keeley, do you agree with Mal Meninga as the man of the match?
Yeah, I certainly do, Peter. As we mentioned, it was between him and Belcher. Belcher sort of, I guess, had a few drop balls early in the first game, and Mal Meninga's had the perfect game today.
Belcher decides to throw the pass. They decide to go from well inside their own corner line, and here's Bell. Now Bell's got Ferguson looming up. Bell's down over the halfway, throws it back on the infield, and it's Belcher. Belcher's down to the quarter line. Belcher doesn't need the support. He'll score under the post. It's 58 points to 0.
Green rampage here at Bruce Stadium. The crowd has gone berserk.
And don't forget the man who started the try was Gary Belcher, who took the odds to throwing the long pass in front of his own goalpost. They say it's taboo. Here it is from the kickoff. Belcher takes the ball. Everyone says you should never do this, except, of course, if you're the Canberra Raiders and you've got this sort of speed. This was great play.
Well, I saw Meninga coming up on the inside of him. I thought he was going to get another try.
Well, Belcher deserves the try. He didn't need the support. He had it either side of him, and under the post he goes. Oh.
That's football. It's football magic. And look at him go. Well, I've just changed my mind. I'm going to give Belcher the man of the match.
Yeah, I'd give it to Belcher.
Can we have a joint man of the match? I tell you what.
I said it before, everyone that pulled on a Raiders jumper today deserves it because they've all done their job.
Yes, I think it's 13 man of the match awards today.
And Mal Meninga from right in front, 11 metres out, moves in, he strikes it well, it's 2 more points.
Look at that scoreline.
It's Canberra 60, East 4.
Oh.
Well, I can't recall a score like that being in first-grade football.
The last time I can remember a score of that sort of enormity was when Manly thrashed Penrith way back in 1973. I think that was 70-3 or something.
Well, Richard Keeley, I know you've been a Raiders fan since they entered the competition, and you have witnessed some floggings at the hands of other teams on the Raiders.
That's right. Speaking of the 60 scorelines, in fact, the Raiders were on the end of a 60 to something drubbing some years ago against Manly at Brookvale.
I remember seeing them get beaten 54-3, I think it was, in the first game they played against Parramatta.
Boy, haven't things turned around, though.
Have they what?
Well, what's the old saying? All good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, but they've prepared this club well over the 8 years. And look at it starting to bear fruit with this man playing for Australia at just the young age of 19. Now Walters, can they put another one on? The crowd wants it. Meninga, can he make it try number 6? Georgialis prevents him from doing it. Now the ball came off Georgialis, it went backwards and Issa managed to pick it up. I think Mal was just too tired in the end to even try and get hold of that ball. Salvatore throws the pass away to Smith, who's gone without it. Smith will make at least, will ensure that a scrum will go down.
Well,
this commentary box is starting to feel like a sauna because of the heat and trying to keep up with the action too.
I can just imagine the roars that go up at other grounds when they hear this scoreline. Oh.
Of course, most people like to see Canberra lose these days because everyone seems
they're the premiers. Well, they took the trophy out of Sydney, David.
Yes, but I think everyone knows that they took it out with a great performance. And here's Daly. Oh, he slips over. He's still got Ferguson there. Ferguson up to the halfway. Ferguson straight through. Ferguson will score a hat-trick as well. Ferguson rates away. And Johnny Ferguson puts it down. It's 64 points to 4. 64-4. Unbelievable.
And it's the Raiders' biggest win ever. There was never any doubt about that. Well, I'm going to give Johnny Ferguson the man of the match.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, great football.
It said with 5 minutes to go, they put another try on. They put 3 on in 5 minutes.
Look at him go, and it was from a standing start that he just clapped it on. Is this man 35?
Here's the Chicka chant.
And have a look at it. Belcher slips it away. Now, Daly actually slips over, gets up, gives it to Ferguson from a standing start. He gives them all the go by, and look at the man go. Father time stop for this fellow, certainly. He's lost none of his speed, and look at that. Don't forget he also set up a lovely try for Daly early in the match as well.
Now, who's the man of the match, Peter Chapman? You've had more picks at man of the match than you have on the weekend in the Doncaster.
Maybe I'll tell you who the man of the match is.
Well, I think there's 13 men of the match here.
I still reckon this bloke with his mighty contribution has to get it. Mal Meninga, another kick. I've lost count how many points he's
Well, there's the final whistle.
Well, like Gary Coyne said before, you know, they were a bit upset to lose them by 1 point to Cronulla. They wanted to win down there, and they've just come back.
Well, let's just not say anything. Let's just listen to this crowd applaud a champion team for a champion effort.
Standing ovation.
All right, well, as the crowd rise as one to cheer the champions as they come off the field, Chicka waves to his wife and the crowd, and they're bowing to him. Why not? We're going to a break, and we'll come back and wrap up this magnificent win of the Canberra Raiders. Have a look at that final. Well, from the Sports Action team, thanks for joining us for another Raiders Big Game.
Make Saturday night basketball night, and to tip the season off, stay right here with us when we bring you the Canberra Cannons and the Newcastle Falcons from the Broadmeadow Stadium. It's Basketball 90, and you've got the best seat in the house. 10:30 Saturday night, the Cannons and the Falcons on Prime Television, your basketball network.
If you like real caramel, you're going to love Arnott's new Carmel. The deliciously different chocolate caramel wafers. Imagine Rich caramel and light vanilla cream sandwiched between delicate wafer biscuits and covered all over with smooth milk chocolate. That's why if you like real caramel, you're going to love Carmel. Exquisite chocolate caramel wafers, new from Arnott's.
Because Holden dealers are giving great bonus deals, there's never been a better time to get into a Holden Nova.
Gotta get a Nova bonus.
With a sporty 1.6 litre twin-cam engine.
Gotta get a Nova bonus.
Slick styling and heaps of features.
Gotta get a Nova bonus.
So take advantage of great deals on Novas at your Holden dealer now.
Gotta get a Holden Nova. It's the car you love. Cha-cha-cha.
In today's driving conditions, you need to be confident about your tires, especially when there's only this much thickness between you and the road. Computer-generated tread features and advanced rubber compounds mean that Bridgestone tires shift water, put maximum tread on the road, corner, stop, and last. That's Bridgestone confidence.
Available at your Bridgestone dealer. Discount tyre service.
Finding that New Year's fitness resolution hard to keep? The Body Connection is doing its part by extending their half-price offer. 12 months full membership for only $149. Must be Australia's premier fitness offer. Membership includes free gym fitness program, unlimited use of comprehensive gym and aerobic classes for all levels. 12 months full membership for only $149. The Body Connection's half-price offer must end 5 p.m. Saturday. The Body Connection, Townsend Street, Phillip.
Come on, eat your toast.
No.
Here then, have some milk.
No.
Don't you want to grow up to be big and strong? Daddy loves milk. Yes, he does. Daddy drinks all his milk.
When did you last really taste milk? The most natural source of calcium, vitamins, and minerals that's as close as your fridge.
Daddy's drinking all my milk.
Milk. Too good to miss out on.
I'll swap you for a bit of toast.
Introducing a sizzling new offer from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
We can't wait. We can't wait for the hot new taste of char-grilled chicken.
What makes the Colonel's new char-grilled chicken so irresistible? Is it the classic new marinade? Maybe it's the way it's seared under a red-hot grill.
We can't wait.
Either way, at our hot new prices, they're now even better value than ever.
More put a lock on the door. You'll see me no more.
The world's most shocking secret about the world's most powerful man.
Okay, you've got a bunch of Gorbachev. Secret visit. Secret. What visit? Blast. At a strike.
Blackmail dealer.
Gorbachev's coming in tomorrow. Somebody plans to kill him. When?
Now.
KGB codename Gorodish.
Aim to save the president of the Soviet Union from assassination.
Grants on his own.
Bankers Trust presents Beau Bridges in the latest Frederick Forsyth thriller, Just Another Secret. Premieres Saturday on Prime.
In 1873, an Australian company started with a vision. A vision that has seen it evolve into a diverse financial force with $8 billion worth of assets worldwide. Today, it is the Colonial Mutual Group, a modern international company that, like few others, comes from a position of strength. The Colonial Mutual Group, building on strength.
For a bet on Tui's Golden Slipper or AJC Derby days, just clip out the $1 free bet vouchers from Tui's Draft Cans. Then take them down to your TAB or out to the track.
It's your best bet.
Bill Lilly Mitsubishi. You know the name means style and quality.
Mitsubishi had the cars for Australia in the 1990s, and Bill Lilly Mitsubishi has the complete range. Bill is committed to providing you with the car of the 90s, the deal of the 90s, and after-sales service that means smooth motoring well into the 21st century.
Bill Lilly Mitsubishi for true quality.
Crawford Street, Queanbeyan.
New Age Electric is a new way to get lots and lots of half-price hot water, plus $150 cash back. You see, the large capacity tank heats more hot water because it has lower and upper heating elements to make sure you'll never run out. Is your house ready for New Age Electric half-price hot water? Contact ACT Electricity and Water. You need never run out of hot water again.
Norman Ross presents Ackai's next generation of video with a range of features that make Ackai the only choice. Quick response system to go from stop to play in just 1.2 seconds. Quick index search and intro scan. Select the desired program at the touch of a button. Digital auto tracking and interactive monitor system. All features for tomorrow and beyond. How much would you pay for this video? $1,000. $800. No way. You only pay $485, but only at Norman Ross, Woden Plaza.
Hello, Jennifer Kite, looking ahead to our late news on Tonight Live. Charles Blunt gives up leadership of the National Party, but not his hopes of holding his seat in Parliament. Queensland's new Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate charges that police have been trafficking in drugs. The White House agrees to a superpower summit in late May. The New South Wales road that brought motorists to a sticky end. And Kerry Packer and Paul Newman win their day in court. See you on Tonight Live.
New Supercat from Bridgestone, a product of some of the most advanced tyre technology in the world to give you extra performance and a safer ride, even in demanding conditions. New Supercat. That's Bridgestone confidence.
Come on, come on!
Oh no. O'Brien!
O'Brien? Just pick up the phone and we'll rush to your home. We'll get the job done fast because we're the experts in glass.
That was quick.
And it's all guaranteed.
O'Brien. Remember, over O'Brien for fast glass replacement.
If you've been looking to build a quality home in a prestigious location, it's hard to beat Bateman's Bay's newest suburb, Sunshine Bay. The professionals announced the new release of quality building sites in the relaxed and clean South Coast environment. A short stroll to Casey's Beach and Sunshine Bay, these large home sites offer the most outstanding value available in today's residential market. For further details on how to secure your address in prestigious Sunshine Bay, contact the professionals, Bateman's Bay.
You know, some things have got to be done every day. And Easter's one of my busiest times. And I'm flat out like a lizard drinking. But at Easter, I always take time to stop and think about the bloke who started it all. Jesus.
What?
Yeah, he's the guy who died on the cross, then came back to life again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's an amazing story. Let me tell you all about it.
It's birthday sale time at Norman Ross, and to celebrate, they've slashed all VCR prices. Palsonic with remote, cut $54, now just $3.95. Akai 425 with remote, try $4.69. And the Hi-Fi model just $7.99. That's $100 off. There's Philips VCRs from $6.49, up to their Hi-Fi model at $8.79. Sanyos out at just $4.79, and all off-range models are invoice cost plus 5%. It's on now at Norman Ross, Woden Plaza.